In this course, you will discover how to awaken your avatar in these 5 simple lesson modules. Module 1. Discover the game of life, the game that spirit or consciousness plays. Module 2. Learn the 3 masteries of awareness, transformation, and love. Module 3. Expand your internal map of reality, your self-view and worldview. Module 4. Learn how to set off on your hero's journey and succeed magnificently. Module 5. Discover how you can influence world affairs and help awaken the species. Let's look at each module in a little more detail. In this module, we take a refreshingly new yet powerful look at the game of life. The game of life is the game that spirit plays, the game that consciousness plays. A game made for everyone, whereby consciousness creates reality. We look at all this in refreshing detail, and this is the first step in unlocking your mind into the vastness of what you really are and the infinite power and possibilities that you hold within you. To play the game, spirit, consciousness, takes these 5 steps to create, to play, and to end the game of life. Step 1. Consciousness, spirit, has a desire. It imagines a suitable world of form to experience that desire. Step 2. It then creates that world, a world of form, of physicality. Step 3. It opens and enters that world. Because spirit or consciousness doesn't have a form, it doesn't have a physical presence, it has to create a suitable form. A body, it has to create a body that fits the world of form that it has created. And so it creates a body for itself. And this is also known as an avatar. Step 4. Using this avatar, or this body, spirit then plays that game. Consciousness plays the game of life. It explores that world as a test of energy. This energetic test is what gives consciousness the ability to experience being or not being that which it desired. Consciousness plays with the energies of life and experiences being, doing, and having. It experiences becoming its desire or failing to do so, and it experiences handling obstacles and growing from that journey. It plays the game of life. Step 5. Finally, it closes that world and leaves with new insights. Through these new insights, it gets to grow, to evolve. The experiences and the insights gained help consciousness answer the question, what am I? The answer comes to it through actual life experiences. Sometimes it answers the question, what am I, by experiencing what am I not. Now, the game of life, like all games, is made of 5 game parts, namely the game space, the game's boundaries, the game's rules of interaction, the game's objects and events, and the game's goal. By understanding the game of life in this new way and with refreshing new detail for each of those 5 parts, you will begin to access the first step in unlocking your mind into the vastness of what you really are and the infinite power and possibilities that you hold within you. For example, when we examine life's objects and events in this fresh new light, we realize that everything is made of energy, quantum energy, and energy responds to consciousness. In other words, consciousness creates reality. So this helps us understand scientifically how we create our reality. We also understand that energy is ever-changing, which means that everything has a built-in impermanence. This means that change is the only constant. And therefore, all our suffering comes only from fear of and subsequent attachment and resistance to this natural and benevolent changing nature of reality. This is just one of the many examples of how examining each of the 5 parts of the game of life leads us to become a master at creating the reality we desire to experience, a master at living a life of peace, abundance, joy, and more. Everything you wanted to be, you already are. You simply don't experience it yet. All your dreams, you already are. You simply don't experience them yet. However, the kingdom and all the treasures and powers you could possibly wish for or need are all inside you. You simply may not know how to recognize them, let alone use them. You literally have the power to move mountains, literally. But first, you must know what you really are. And so in this module, we go through lessons that begin to give you a framework to help you reframe in your own way how you see yourself and how you see life. Eventually, especially after completing this course, you will come to realize and know yourself as an omnipotent part of the creative source of the universe itself. In other words, you will no longer think of the Creator, you will begin to think and live as the Creator. Oneness. Or to put it in another way, don't think of God, think from God. You will finally know what you really are, not in theory, not in the mind, but as a living and practical embodiment of this knowingness. Of course, it will start small, like all things do. It will start so small, like a mustard seed, but over time, it will blossom and grow into the full embodiment of what you really are. You will begin to create miracles in your life literally by the time you finish this module, if you apply what you learn. And in the coming days, weeks, months, and years, you will transform in ways you cannot even begin to imagine today. For you are a magnificent being beyond measure. The problems and challenges and limitations that you have today, even the ones that seem so big right now, even the ones that have plagued you for years and years and years and puzzled you to no end, all of them will begin to look trivial, and you will solve them, sometimes as easily as you drink water or breathe air. You don't need to be enslaved by cultural and historic ideas. You can build your own ship and command it. You can build your own system of reality rather than be enslaved by other people's systems of reality. You are, after all, a divine, sovereign, creator being with free will. Okay, now when we complete this module, we shall then be ready to look at the next module on the 3 masteries of awareness, transformation, and love. In this module, you will experience practical lessons through which you shall discover and learn how to use the 3 mastery tools that you will need to let go of the old, broken, and limited self-concept that may be holding you back in many different ways. A self-concept that is also known to you as your unconscious ego. A false self, the identity that you are programmed, conditioned, socialized, and domesticated to believe in to be what you are today. You generally take this self-image for granted, like the air that you breathe. This self-image operates unconsciously under your skin. You may not realize it, but you are literally living in a program of the mind, a prison of the mind, built out of the environment of beliefs that you happen to have been born into through a process called domestication. What you call reality is not reality. Reality is far greater, far grander than you can possibly imagine. In fact, you may not even have tasted true reality yet. But you can, and these 3 mastery tools will begin to show you how to see and then escape your mental prison and experience the vastness of infinity and loving abundance that is your inheritance. For you see, the ego, the mental prison, is very much like a spell that is woven so tightly, so under your skin, that you don't even realize you are inside a prison of your mind. The ego is a collection of beliefs, most of which contain severe and crippling limits that you may not even realize are present. Yet, if you know how, these limits can easily be released. The ego also contains subconscious wounds, which is to say, the many ways that your heart has been broken and the many fears that you hold. Yet, all these wounds can also be healed. You can indeed be truly free, and once you're free, you shall be in this world but not of it. You shall discover the magnificent kingdom within you, and you shall gladly find out that you absolutely and literally have the power to move mountains. For everything that you want to be, you already are. You simply are on the path to discovering it. And these 3 mastery tools are precisely the tools that have been used by the sages, the masters, and the ancient mystery schools to attain liberation and enlightenment, and all the gifts that come with that. They are now yours if you choose to take them. The mastery of awareness, the mastery of transformation, and the mastery of love. On completing this module, we shall then be ready to look at the next module on expanding your internal map of reality, your self-view, and your worldview. In this module, you begin to discover that you are far, far greater than you think you are. As you may already know, you don't see the world as it is. You see the world as you are, or rather as you think you are. You are, after all, the I am that I am. To begin expanding your internal map of reality, we take a fresh new look at concepts such as duality, the soul, consciousness, energy, beliefs and filters, thought, feeling and body, your true self, your ego, your internalized judge and the predator or parasite that you carry within you that sabotages you and works ceaselessly to limit you in one way or the other. We also look at your Akash, your innate, and your divine support system. By taking a bold, fresh, new, and powerfully revealing look at these seemingly old and seemingly familiar concepts, you shall open the doors wide to knowing thyself, to knowing yourself anew in the full magnificence of what you really are. And because you never actually see the world as it is, and you instead see the world as you think you are, claiming a new knowing of yourself as a magnificent being, the I am that I am, will therefore open doors of freedom and miraculous power beyond your wildest imaginations. Initially, you shall find small miracles occurring in your life, and they will give you more faith and confidence to try bigger ones, and these will grow until one day, someday, you will look back and wonder at just how magnificent your life has become. On completing this module, we shall then be ready to look at the next module about setting off on your hero's journey. This module begins by quickly explaining what the hero's journey is, how it applies to you, and how you can use this model to better navigate your life with more awareness, joy, abundance, and power. It then covers how you can apply mindfulness along this journey, apply the 3 tools of mastery along the journey to consciously evolve to the grandest version of the greatest vision of who you really are, and much, much more. We also look at how you are a divine being and how you can think and live from that incredible position of infinite possibilities and power. We re-examine energy and how it works to serve you. We look at how you can trust yourself and trust life completely and achieve the living status of a true sovereign divine being. We look at the end of fear and how to heal your subconscious wounds and your inner child. We dive into pain and suffering and how to use radical honesty, self-acceptance, and the surrender of attachment and resistance to use any pain or suffering constructively, and to end all your personal suffering permanently and find the hidden gems contained in all challenges, to use them for self-discovery of your own magnificence. We then look at choices, decisions, and take a deep look at the grandness of holistic abundance, which is, by the way, your own divine inheritance. You are abundant beyond your wildest imaginations. And we shall look at how you can find that abundance and begin to live it more and more fully. We close off with a look at forgiveness, surrender, and awakening in a powerful new way. Indeed, you shall awaken from the illusions that keep you small, limited, and suffering. Your awakening is at hand, and that is certain. On completing this module, we shall then be ready to look at the next module about how you can influence world affairs and help awaken the species. And finally, in this module, you discover how to help other people awaken, like you would have, to their own magnificence, and to the potential of a new Earth in a new energy, a planet that is in harmony and at peace, a paradise on Earth. We look at the major challenges facing Mother Earth and humanity, and what we can do to transform us into a new Earth, living in a new energy. We learn how to do all this while recognizing the divinity and sovereignty of all beings. There is nothing that says we have to fix or repair anyone else. The greatest thing we can do is honor everyone for their path, no matter what their path looks like. So, this is not about going to evangelize and to point fingers at people, not at all. What this is about is simply being there for anyone who calls out for a teacher or for an example, out of their own free will. This is also about understanding what is really going on around the world, behind the scenes, under the covers. And it's also about contributing solutions that shift mass consciousness and provide a higher path for those who choose it. For in this new energy, you are the solution. You are the one you've been waiting for. The days of waiting for a nanny government and for corporations to tell you what to think, what to be, and what to do, those days are over. You are the solution, and we shall talk about that. You shall make a dent in the universe, a good, benevolent dent. You shall help bring about a new earth in a new energy, should you choose to. You will also help awaken the species, humanity, should you choose to. And that, my friend, concludes the Awakening Your Avatar course.